There we go.
And it still says preparing, setting up.
Live.
Not yet.
I think we might be live.
Maybe. Done. Redirecting. Dr. Jones checking in for the Eski couch. I have starting top left, brother Nick up in the top left. I've got brother Timmy on the top right, brother Kaiser. The threads from the boys at HK.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, looking flash.
And my co-captain.
Yes.
Jamie.
Hey.
How are we, boys?
Always
Not as good. No one's as good as you two, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling on top of the world, to be honest.
How's the new
I
trophy
was
cabinet
in the
coming?
car. Mate, I'm going to have to buy a bigger shelf if we keep winning.
I said that.
We need a bigger boat.
Yes, I did ring Jamie. I rang Jamie on Monday morning. What was it, about 8:30, 9 o'clock, something like that. And I've just casually said to him, remember the time we were the best team in Australia? So
A week ago.
Last week.
No, yesterday. So it is a pretty surreal feeling. I was pretty proud of the boys. Man, everyone on that squad played their guts out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they come away with spoils, you know.
Genghis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Genghis
look.
Khan. Genghis Khan.
I like that. That's gonna be it.
Genghis Khan. Oh, better than Angry Angus. I used to get the Angry Angus a lot. So
Or the train, mate.
yeah,
There's a period that you got called the train.
the train.
You
Yeah.
too?
Well, Genghis Khan.
No, mate. I agree. I'm really proud of the
How
team.
many continents you conquered?
Hopefully plenty. But no. I am really proud of the boys. I really enjoyed playing with those guys. Like I've known, we've played with J-Rad and Macca before, but honestly, how good are those Simpson boys and Johnny Robert on and off the field? Like, Johnny's just, a pleasure to be around. He's such a nice guy. And
I don't like him.
No, don't like him.
Don't like it. On record.
No. Yeah, I honestly,
exclusive.
yeah, I honestly had a ball all weekend. Just being around those guys, really good people, smart guys. Like, I've been around paintball a long time, and it made me realise how little I actually know about paintball being around, particularly Ben and Carl. So yeah, mate, ball, loved it, great, won. It's absolutely brilliant, everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's,
paintball like you, those Simpsons, right up there.
Ridiculous. You can see why they've won so many rings. Like it's.
Don't tell them I said that, but
Yeah.
right up there.
I'll edit it out of the live broadcast.
Someone will catch that.
Anytime you hear Kai giving a compliment, it's actually us censoring something really bad out.
It's the lesser of two evils. What we're going to do, I'm going to just quickly put something on. Tash Cordova did a little video for the Eskimo Brothers, just a little highlight reel from the weekend. So both the Eskimo Brothers, Eskimo Nation team feature in. I'm going to hit the button. We are going to go to this, and then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more. So here we go. From the wild and wonderful Tash. If you don't follow Tash on like Instagram or any of those, you need to. So her Instagram is Velma.35. Doesn't look like we've got sound. Have we got sound, boys?
Not on
Really?
video.
No.
I don't
Oh,
know.
well.
It's a
No
shame
sound.
because this edit is sick. Like,
Yeah,
shout out to
Tash.
Tash.
Tash did kill a job on this.
100%.
Angus.
Velma.35 on Insta and Tash Cordova on YouTube. Give her a follow. Give her some love, guys. She's doing some good things.
That's
just
a cool shot.
promoting the sport. Yeah, it is. It is. Pity it was Jakey, but it is a cool shot.
Mate, he went out there. Jakey balled hard. He played well.
Yeah, he did.
Obviously,
Jakey did.
it's sad to lose him on the second day. Obviously, out to a friend's wedding. So,
Are we talking
Yeah,
Div 2 Jake Mail Baxter?
Div 2.
Yeah, that new
mate.
up and coming guy.
Yeah. He
No,
plays
plays
in
played
XL,
well.
mate.
Pretty closely. We're watching his career closely.
Now,
Yeah.
something you might have picked up in that little shot, which you might or you might not, was Aaron McCauley having a bit of trouble with his loader there. We'll talk a bit about
He
that.
pissed God off.
Yeah, exactly.
Him and
He
everyone
does.
else.
he does, like, he runs the R2 he was running there. But that just, it shows what the trouble people were having with pain on the weekend. And it was tough in that regard. And it didn't matter what loader you had. Your boys
didn't matter.
Yeah, loader, gun, anything. Like it was atrocious, the dust on the paint.
And what
big time
paint was it?
Killer paintballs, mate. Killer paintballs, plague.
Yeah, the plague.
Yeah. So
it was stuff fresh straight out of the container. It was it only just arrived, but it just had a lot of dust on it, and a bit more than to be honest, I haven't seen stuff like that on plague ever.
When we played the Wagga 3-man, it was the same, and that was a different batch. And I said to Dwayne, like when I got it, I said, geez, it almost looks like it was oily and it's dried and the oil's dried into dust. That's what it looked like. But now the second batch has come in. I don't think that's the case. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's like a talcum powder over it.
Yeah.
Well, so our boys were reading. Yeah, they were reading the box, and they use this chalk to like polish the seams.
Yeah,
and there must have just been a whole stack of residue because like it was clogging up everything.
Maybe they need to hose them
to the
off
point
after
where the paintballs looked like they had a white line around it because the seam was full of the dust.
Exactly. So maybe it is to polish the seam, but because it is the two shells, maybe that's because they do have that indent in them.
Yeah, they do.
Very defined. So maybe the dust is just getting caught in that after the polishing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it is the dust or what the case is, but I know it was a headache for everyone in their loader. Like there were loaders off left, right, and center. There were eyes getting clean left, right, and center. Like it was just
it was great shot of Ram borrowing a gun and having to rip a loader off and was speeding it from his pod.
Yeah.
I think it was actually against you guys.
I saw that picture. I saw that picture, and I'm sorry to point this out, but it was kind of funny that it was a SWAT gun he was playing with the hopper off.
One of their series, like the special editions.
I do love that Rambo used a SWAT gun to beat SWAT. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm sure he enjoyed it too. But
maybe he was feeding salt into the hopper just so he could rub a little bit more in. So.
I think, can I be honest? I think those guys are going to be salty enough.
Yes.
You were actually up in the pits for that game, weren't you, Jamie?
I was. I was standing very close to Mike Wybrew and Scotty Martin and Alex Orr, while Adam Connolly sat there, and even though he's from SWAT too, kind of rubbed the salt in a little bit with the boys. Yep. But Mike, let's just say he wasn't in a great frame of mind when STK beat SWAT to knock them down into the third and fourth playoff. So disbelief is probably what I seen on his face. He was genuinely like just could not believe that the boys had played so well in the prelims, and then took the top spot and got rolled.
But is that that's reminiscent of them last year though, isn't it? Played really well, got into finals, and then got knocked out in their first semi.
Starting to be a bit of a trend, coming away with third medal. So.
Look, to be honest, I don't think it's and I'm not going to shoot them down. It's not on them how they've played. Like they still played their same game in that final.
Yeah.
The difference is I can speak for like my guys. The amount of events that we've scraped our asses into and we've come first or second. Unfortunately, second to this one, but we've won so many events where we've scraped our asses into finals.
You've only got to.
And it just seems to be that little thing that just goes, time to start playing. Like your guys are infamous for it. Yep. When the guys are playing for Crisis, when they're playing for Raw, it scraped their asses into finals.
You've only got to be there, mate.
Yeah.
And you've got to make it, and then you've got
you're 100% right, Timmy. SWAT were dominant in prelims. Like they were flogging everybody. They were really dominant.
They showed they knew that
dropped one game. Yeah, absolutely. And they were playing well. Ringo up the middle. Ricky Bobby was really strong down the side. Blackie was playing strong. So there was no question that they turned up to win the event and had trained really hard because that was straight away. And Expendables too. Like Jesus, we met Expendables game one and simply they flogged us. In that game one on day one. I think we got 1 point. Yeah, I think we got a point.
That being said,
know,
I actually found it so much harder playing against SWAT than I did Expendables, even given the scorelines.
Expendables breakout was the same breakout for every point.
Yep.
You know, they did not adjust that. And I think the biggest thing that they suffered was, you know, like they held, like Ethan Kleiber is a great off the break shooter. Like I'd put him as one of the best in Australia to shoot people off the break, hands down. And then his secondary moves, like he's strong in the middle, but he just wasn't going anywhere. He was going to his primary, and that was it. That was the end of his game. He'd stay there, he'd get shot, or he'd stay there, and the point would be over, and that was it. You know, and
look, their shining light was once again. He was their shining light last year. Was Thomas. Thomas Hopkins has turned himself into hands down their best player.
Mate, I'll tell you who else. Like, Liam Kyle.
Liam
played
well
strong tournament, man. Like a strong. I think that's the best I've seen him play too.
See,
like,
and he's been every event he's played the last 2-3 years. He has improved and improved and improved
over and over.
Yeah, I love his aggression. I love Liam's aggression. It was great to see because there wasn't many players. Yeah, Macca and I had this conversation today. I caught up with Macca on the phone, and we were just saying that there wasn't a lot of aggression from any of the teams. You know, that the aggressive play was very quickly replaced with that pocket play that I think most relied on, including us. You know, we were a little bit more aggressive with Macca punching down the middle, and Ben Simpson, I think, just Ben's played. You know, I think he was by far, you know, him and Macca were by far our top two players, but Ben just played out of his skin, I reckon.
That was the best like an 18-year-old in the last couple of years. That's Ben of old that played that weekend. But also
the only thing he kicked himself about the weekend was he was old and slow.
Yeah.
And
you know,
by the end of the weekend, watching him down that snake. Yeah, watching him get down that snake.
That was a good 12-second, 13-second crawl.
Battle of the tortoises sometimes there.
It is like you to know when to go in.
Akajangus, are you referring to the anchor?
The anchor, sorry. The anchor, yes.
He was busting coral all the way up through that centre all the week.
100%, but if he wasn't busting coral, he was smashing skulls to the fish on the other side of the water, mate.
He had a good tournament, the anchor.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Likewise, like for you guys, man, I think Trav played some great paintball.
I think Trav played some great paintball. I agree. Trav.
He's been putting the hard yards in, and you guys know this. He's been out of it for a long time. Came back in last year, was supposed to be a nice big kickoff player with the nation, and jump back in with us and sort of find his spot back in with us. I know the plan going over to the event, he wasn't in the starting five.
Yeah,
he effectively had to step up and take. He took every opportunity and proved why he was originally in our team and why he's still there.
I thought Farron played really well as well. He was aggressive. He was one of the more aggressive ones. Had some good runs up the middle and played good on D. You know, all the boys played well. Don't get me wrong. Dan always plays well. So
it was
Stevie was just solid, man. Stevie, solid.
But that's Stevie.
And Damo was great until his testicle turned the size of my head.
And for a health update, I've unfortunately seen them as well. I got a photo.
It was legit bigger than his head. Now Damo has a real small head, but it was bigger than his head.
Yeah.
So he
was what's the update, mate?
He
told me he was going to get an MRI.
He thought he needed.
Hang on, listen. Hey, Dr. Timmy, what happened?
Jesus Christ! And then they're trying to give health updates. Just poor bastard got his nuts blown off almost. No, he went to the doc on Monday, got sent straight for an ultrasound that he couldn't get into till Tuesday. Went in, everything's mechanically working fine. Thankfully, just some bruising. So he
had someone's balls.
Damo got shot.
Ricky Bobby absolutely destroyed him.
Blazing.
Guy in the dick. Come on, Ricky.
Ricky Bobby, apparently.
It was like that, Kaiser.
It was wrong town, man.
No, it was like that. But what didn't look. I'd seen the photos. He tried to get it out and show it to me, but it was so sore, Kaiser. He literally couldn't pull it out of his pants.
It wasn't sore. It wasn't
I'm like,
sore.
Dude, just show me, it's fine. And he's like, he tried, and he went, I just can't do it. So he couldn't get it out.
He couldn't get it out the fly, mate. Like that was the problem. He could not get it out the fly of his jocks.
Was it?
Yeah.
Mate, no, it was legit. Like
It was literally
one
just
testicle.
his nut.
Tennis ball.
Yeah.
One testicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that was huge.
the young fella
I'm very
doesn't have
glad.
kids.
I'm very glad it's better.
Yeah. And he's checked the mechanics, and apparently the mechanics are working fine.
Did he check it, or did he get the missus to check it? Did he?
So he manually checked his gear, did he?
I reckon he owes Ricky Bobby a sample.
Hey, look, there might have been some extra motivation to beat SWAT in that bloody final.
Yeah.
Indication.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that poor bastard. Like, and that meant the boys had to do it hard, obviously, with just the 5. But
yeah. Anyway, Damo, I hope you're feeling better, mate. Just remember, Vaseline gets rid of bruises. Make sure you rub it in well. So,
sure, he's taking care of it.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was going to say, I always make the joke. I'm sure his missus loved the extra swelling, to be honest. But
yeah.
Oh, these
I
are bigger.
I got shot. I got shot in the bell end once, like right on the tip of the head, and my head was like that, one-sided, swollen up, and that was the eye in the middle, mate. It was just half of my head had swollen. Oh, damn, he could hit me square, so I had some more growth. the eye of the bell end, and one side was just massive.
Right.
So did you go home and shoot yourself in the other side?
I did the visual. You didn't have to think about it too long, guys. You should just go, yeah, it sounds pretty bad, man. But here you are.
He's dwelling on it
imagining
now.
what it tasted like. And
Kai's never going to look at McDonald's logo the same way ever again.
Oh, dear.
Perfect. And that's why we call it a McHappy meal. So. Oh, very good. So the layout, did it play to everyone's expectations? Timmy, how did you think it played?
It was a bit of a turd, to be honest.
Polish
It was frustrating. It was
between the chalky paint, the layout, and the swollen dicks.
And the puddle. There was a puddle. Don't forget the puddle.
And the puddle. But no, look, it was kind of frustrating to see not any team. It didn't matter whether it was my team, you guys, whoever, get to a 50 and be able to do nothing with it. There was not a lot to work with, and that's where I think, yeah.
Well, it's tough too, because like you see that when we were playing STK, and like there was like maybe 2 minutes left on the buzzer. And you guys had to come down and get it, like to tie it up. And you guys went for a full send, full push. You've taken all the 50s. We've got like a guy in the back center, snake entry, and like we managed to hold on for 2 minutes and take 4 of your 5 bodies. Like,
crazy.
It's just, it doesn't reward you for actually making those really big moves, you know?
And that's, I think, once you got to the 50, I think the next bunker was a big push, you know, which made it, you know, the whole idea was it makes it spectacular for the webcast and shit. But, you know, you went through the 50, you took the bloke out of the 50, and then you had a long fucking run to the next bloke, didn't you, Nick? And then unfortunately you ran into that crossfire and both sides of your body come out covered in yellow.
Oh, mate, I was dripping. I was probably wearing a kilo of paint after that.
You did have that shit-eating grin under your face, under your mask today. Like you loved every minute of it. But
oh, mate, been waiting for that for a year, haven't we?
That's right.
Speaking of that 50, I did love, like, when Rambo got to that 50 and then the call come from your team that someone was in the snake 50. Rambo bump into that next wing bunker and just blasting the shit out of the snake 50 was just like, it was magic. And he did that so often. Like the teams knew he was in the 50. As soon as they got to the 50, your blokes called it. He ran through, just blazed the shit out of them. 9 times.
Dan did it a couple of times. I mean, we were talking about this pre-game, pre-show. I know the game against you guys in particular, where it ended up a tie, it was a fantastic game to watch, but I felt for him because he ran through 100% shot bend, but 100% on bend. There was nothing on him.
No.
Just everything. Just
I saw that. I watched that point. Is that when it shot him in the back of the
back of his jersey? Everything.
Go boing. And nothing on him.
So it was breaking, but it was nothing marked. And then he had the same thing when twice over the weekend, like you guys did it and a few other people did it. They ran the buzzer on us, and he got paint on them, but it didn't mark. The first shot he hit them with didn't leave a mark. Would break, but just didn't leave a mark. So that was a little bit unlucky on his behalf. It's the way the cookie crumbles.
Look, I cut a paintball apart on Thursday to look at the fill, just to see what it was like, and it was almost like there was separation in there. So you had fill and you had clear liquid as well. Like it wasn't that mixed, like consistency that you'd normally get out of paint, or even like GI paint has like one of the thickest fills you'll ever see, and it's almost impossible to wipe. Like you can't clean up GI paint in the pits after a point. Like it's just ridiculous how thick it is. And then you look at that stuff that we had on the weekend, and it was legit, almost like it was separating in the ball, which is just crazy.
Look, it happens. I've seen it from every brand.
Whether
it be something that's over chalky, something that's been split like this. It's hard, especially for anyone in this country trying to order paint in.
It's got a month on the boat
for an event fresh, and then you don't get a chance to do anything about it when it rolls up on your doorstep and it's not what you want.
So it is legit on a boat for almost a month. Like it's, we get what we get here, unfortunately. So, very good.
Dwayne's just asking you, Jonesy, how's the dinner recommendation?
Oh, mate, steak. So those that don't know, I'm in Wagga at the moment. So this is the second time in a week that a paintball show has come out of Wagga. That's more shows out of Wagga than any other city in Australia this week. So Wagga is the paintball live show capital of Australia.
Shout out to Wagga.
Shout out to Wagga. So Dwayne told me the place I'm staying does a mean steak, and I will concur. It is an amazing steak. So if you're in Wagga for a tournament, when you come down to play Dwayne's tournament, come to the Astor Inn near the railway station for a Mickey Mouse steak. So that is Dwayne's recommendation, and now it is my recommendation. So
hunt for a free one next time, by the sounds of it,
mate. I will be.
I was about to say, Jonesy, you'd want a free steak for that plug, mate.
Mate.
7 people.
New Eskimo sponsors, by the sounds of it.
I'll work on it. I will work on it. It's funny, like my brother got me onto this app. Now I normally do my bookings through bookings.com.
Now pay your money too.
No, listen to this one. This one is almost like I'm sponsored. Hotels is the app, hotels.com or something like that. Book on your 10th night, you get a free night. So it's like I'm sponsored now. I'm a sponsored traveller. So for every 10th night I do for work, I get one free night for myself and the missus. So how good's life?
That sounds like the old paintball sponsorship, isn't it, mate? I'm sponsored because I get 5% off.
Sponsorship.
5% off all
paintball sponsorship.
I was going to say, he's not paying for the first 9.
Yeah. Buy 9 guns, get 1 free.
For you guys, maybe.
Nice jersey, that, Kai. Did they spell your name right?
Tell me.
Horris.
HOMO.
Was it a tight fit? Did you have to push hard to get it on? So.
Oh, damn it, Jonesy. I'm going to skull some beer.
I haven't seen it. So.
That's interesting.
I thought it was interesting. Kai missed last week's show when the word of the day was still interesting.
Yeah, we still threw it out there for you, bro. We cheered you on. So
I heard.
Speaking of big events on the weekend, there was another big event. How was the young fella's first birthday, mate?
Oh, mate, it was excellent, and I love that you guys. That I get to have a live chat with you guys, and I had Patches with me.
Yeah, so good. It was great to see Patches.
Yeah,
it was. So.
Yeah, it was great. I felt a vibration in my pocket, and I looked in and it said Eskimos, and I went, "Fucking yes!" Yeah, no, it was great. Thanks for asking. Yeah, Axel had the time of his life, and it was good to have some of the cartel boys there, Patches and the Patrick family. Yeah,
good.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. First birthday's a special, mate. It's almost not a celebration of his birthday. It's more a celebration that you kept him alive for the first year, isn't it?
That you survived yourself, mate.
Yeah,
that's it.
you know. I wanted to play with you guys. I wanted to be part of. I mean, I'm the original Eskimo, right? And I wanted
Absolutely.
And
have you told that story yet on this show?
No, and we're not going to. It's a family show.
Yeah,
have to be explicit there, mate.
No, that was your team, mate.
That's secret Eskimo business. That's secret Eskimo.
Yes. If you want to know the story, hit me up. I'm sure I'll balls it up, but we'll FaceTime Kai and get the real version.
Oh, dear.
It's worth it. Anyway, I was so stoked. I hit Mac up. I hit the anchor up and I said, look, I really want to play this year. He goes, I'll get back to you. He rang me back in 5 minutes and goes, you're on with the nation. I go, how'd you do that? And he goes, you would have done it for me. And I would have. Right. And, the anchor, we like giving him a bit of shit, but he's a good fucking dude. Right. And
he goes all right.
Yeah, he goes all right, and then I knew, when you get that sixth sense, I'm like, something's going to stop me. I just looked at the dates and I just went, there's no fucking way I'm getting to round one. I choose life.
Oh, mate, when you told me the reason why, I'm like, yeah, you're fine. You're good. You're good, bro. We'll see you at round two.
Position, mate.
Like, the Eskimo Couch viewers know my wife's, she's hot, but crazy hot scale.
Stop looking up, Kaiser. Stop looking up. She's not.
You're hot, mate.
She's not in the room. She's not in the room. I can see a stiletto coming thrown straight at your head in about 3 seconds, mate.
Yeah, and I saw the dates and I was just like, I'm missing round one.
Round two will be here before we know it, mate. Don't worry.
Be there.
I do always laugh that Jamie always puts up who's in and you always put yep, and then he never puts in a team.
I've already apologised to Kaiser for that. He's like, dude, why haven't you put me in a team? And I'm like, I just thought you were showing us support, mate. I didn't actually think you wanted to come. I thought you were just being a good bro and like, yeah, I'm in and not really, but I'm just support. But
it's a spirit.
I left him off all the teams of the year.
5 years has been trying to get a run and Jamie's been brushing him.
It was. I messaged Jamie. I go, what have I done? I always say yes. He goes, I thought you were just being cool. And I was like, no, I want to fucking play.
Oh, gee. Well, this year it's happening.
Yep.
Round two, check it out. He's already got the jersey. The boys hooked him up with the fresh threads. He's ready to go.
Hooked him up.
Yeah, Army. Thank you, boys. They sent me a beautiful care package the other day. They sent me some new joggers. Great, boys. Get yourselves those new joggers, man. I wear them in the gym every day. They sent me some new athletics shorts for work. They sent me a couple of T-shirts. They sent me a new jersey.
You're sounding like a sponsored player, mate.
All of which, except that jersey, are available at paintballshop.com. So, and you can buy Plague paint there as well.
I do have to comment. Speaking of HK and their joggers, etc. I shared a video on our Facebook and our Instagram today of
that was the new TRKs,
the new TRK, sorry, of several American players playing in them. One being Chad George, shirtless.
You only shared that because you were shirtless and you wanted to watch it again, didn't you?
I'm not going to lie, I did appreciate what Chad was putting down. But someone who appreciated it more, and I did get a text message from a disgruntled fiance, named Craig Singh. Caitlin took great pleasure. Caitlin took great pleasure in seeing Chad in his nakedness today, and Craig was not impressed. So I did get a little message saying thanks for sharing that. Might work for him.
I stand by the fact that Caitlin has helped us in the pits every tournament that we have played that Chad George has been here for. Chad wasn't here last weekend, neither was Caitlin.
No,
so she never came to help us at all. She came to see the Chad George show in between games where he struts around with his shirt off.
I took my missus to World Cup, right? The boys, the Dynasty boys, had hooked me up with some of those New Balance shoes, Timmy, and I think Greenspan had a couple of boot. Anyway, Scott Kemp, Scotty figured out where I was, and of course he rocks up shirtless with Marcelo, right? While my missus is standing there. So she's gushed like a fire hydrant and said, "I'm going home now. I've seen enough. Thanks." And
Speaking of Scotty Kemp, about 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I bought Scotty Kemp's how to, his training manual he did, Kaiser.
Yep.
I bought that about 6-7 years ago, and I was talking to one of the young fellas' mums. So we've got a young bloke. Shout out to Lucas Brionis and his mum.
Who's a Skemp fan, no doubt.
Stop it. She's a Skemp fan now. Anyway, I was talking to his mum and I said, hey, she goes, what can I do? We've got to get him active. He's not getting out to play as much. What can we do? And I said, well, I've actually got this training manual. I've got a bit more backstory. Lucas's dad was a world weightlifting champion, right? So he used to get out there, lift weights in the over 35s class, got some medals, did well on the world stage. Right. When Lucas got into the sport, he was loving it so much, and their family's like, right, it's expensive. What are we going to do? And shout out to his dad, Ollie. He said, right, I'll pull my gym membership, and that'll give us some money to cover the paintball for Lucas. So his old man's done this, and kudos to him, which is really good. So anyway, back to the story. She goes, what can we do? Da, da, da. And I said, well, I've actually got this training manual done by Scotty Kemp. He was, one of the fittest blokes in paintball. He still runs a PT business, and he's fit as fuck. I'll send it to you. Anyway, I'm looking through my old computer. I couldn't find it anywhere. I was like, fuck, what am I going to do? And I tried to find it and, had to buy it again. Anyway, I thought, fuck it. I'm going to send Scotty a message and just say, hey, can you help us out? So I flicked him a message saying, hey, bro, I bought it off you a couple of years ago. Any chance you can flick it on to me because I can't find it anywhere? No worries, bro. It was in my email within like 2 minutes that he'd sent it straight off the bat. So shout out to Scotty Kemp.
Like that.
Scotty's good dude like that.
Yeah. So that was really cool. So I haven't touched base with his mum or Lucas to see if he's been doing it. But it was, I did send it on. And I said, maybe, it'll be something.
Subscribed, I'm telling you that much.
Yeah. His mum's still on Insta looking at Scotty's profile.
So Kaiser mentioned both Scotty and Marcelo being shirtless. And I'm not sure if you remember this, Nathan, but years ago, the old TPC team had a good connection to Marcelo, and Marcelo come out and ran a clinic just for us when he was out one time, and
that was
all out. There was a really hot
first tournament.
I think it was, a really hot day, and we're all getting on about an hour or two into it, and we're all standing around this big circle, and me being the ultra fit person I am, I'm standing there next to Marcelo, and Marcelo just takes the shirt off in front, and all the girls there and probably all the guys,
the boys.
Gasped, and I seriously just looked him straight in the eye and I said, mate, you're just making us look bad. Like, put it back on, and he just started laughing, and the shirt stayed on for the rest of the day. That was it.
Who's your favourite paintball player, babe?
Marcelo.
Okay, get out.
You can let her know that she shares that with me, mate. I've always had a soft spot with Marcelo. He was always fantastic with us.
Hard spot, but...
He's got a half spot.
I've got a hard spot for Marcelo, but no, he was always great with us, mate. I got a lot of time for him because he was just so good with us, and we were all just AMS players back in those days, and he always made extra effort for us and did a lot for us. A lot of time for him, mate.
I remember that. I remember that clinic being like from Tamworth. I'd stepped on a blow-up bunker once before this tournament when I come out to Dubbo for a training session.
On a blow-up doll.
Yes, still do. What are you on about? So that was the first time I'd actually seen a proper blow-up field that I could touch, not on YouTube and that. Marcelo took a bit of me at that clinic, which was really good and gave me a little bit of special attention. And I remember, like, when we first got on the pro field, playing against those guys, it was just one of those moments where, like, fuck yeah, I made it. And then the next tournament come around, and we actually went down to train before that one, Jamie. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
and
I do.
I'd bumped out to the Snake Corner, and we're on the away side. And I was there, and I sort of was half communicating. I was having a bitch-ass job of communicating, and it was a little bit shit. And I've come off the field, and Marcelo's grabbed me. He goes, what the fuck was that? I said, man, I don't know. And he goes, you know better than that. What the fuck did I teach you? That was shit. If I see you do that again, I'm going to fucking slap you. And I was like, righto. So, it was one of those, one of those great moments in my paintballing time. So,
good guy.
He's a legend. We were together one night in Pacific Beach. Babe, close your ears. And we walked down the street and we made out with every chick walking past us for like 100 metres. Dead set. We went on a bonanza. We went on a passion dash for like 100 metres.
Passion dash.
Yeah.
Oh, dear, oh, dear. Yeah.
oh, Jesus. Speaking of great
Go to
paintball
San
moments.
Diego. Everyone go to San Diego.
Speaking of great paintball moments, paintball returned to Canberra in the guise of tournament paintball back in March, which was a great moment for Canberra paintball. Once again this weekend, paintball is returning to Canberra for the NXL. So that is going to happen tomorrow.
Did we get a squad together?
No, not tomorrow. Today's Thursday.
Yeah,
Did we
Saturday.
get that one extra player, Genghis Khan? Did we,
Oh,
did we get up? Did we get
I
that
did not. I did not. I tried my hardest to get those
know.
boys onto the field, and I couldn't get one.
I know. I saw you. You did all right, buddy. You did all right.
I was trying.
Yeah.
Very trying.
Very trying.
So this is the layout.
This actually looks like a fun-ass layout.
No,
Yeah, this looks cool.
100%. You know, one of my biggest gripes with those little A's is shooting through the middle. You know, like it's one of my biggest things. I purposely shoot people through the middle because it's just funny to watch them move their feet and not take the hits. And then you're like, hey, you're shooting fuck. And I do that just so I can say that at them after the game. But they've put that the little cake in there to sort of take a bit of that out.
Well, in the old days, we would have called that the Xbox because it would have been the X. They used to put the box there, and that's where the Xbox came from.
Yeah. Well, there you go. So
X.
I'm glad they've put something there to keep some people.
That wasn't unusual. That used to become pretty commonplace, as Kai said. The Xbox,
yeah, just to plug it.
Pretty standard thing to see it there. Like it was always better when it was backed off like that. There was the odd time you'd see him like literally shove a cake in either side. And it was a bit weird, but it was always decent when it was like that because it meant you could still play under it for that odd little shot.
But I think they've done well with this. It's exciting.
I think it's cool.
As a back center.
Cool.
I like a Dorito as a back center, and Canberra used to do that a lot back in the NCPL days. Being the back center fiend that I am, I used to love them when there was a big Dorito in back center. Loved it.
I think Mike Davis designs these fields.
Yeah, I think so.
As Dwayne's commented saying, field was from 2013, #fresh.
Yeah,
it definitely 100% fresh, but
spot on.
Dude,
what's old is new again, boys. Come on.
Timmy.
Is it a repeat? Like, is it just an old layout? Is that
It probably is. Probably is.
Yes. It's look, a good layout's a good layout.
Still looks sick.
Layout. Mike Davis, he gets right into this stuff. You know, he's a little weirdo. He gets right in. He gets right into it when he gets something. And, you know, in his day, he was an absolute weapon player.
Yeah, he was. Him and the Booker boys.
Keen eye for these things, man.
Yeah, cool. So,
very good.
Do we?
So what are your predictions? What are your predictions, Kaiser, coming out of this weekend? Who do you think?
I'd have to know who's playing for a start, Nick.
I think the Asylum boys will have this one wrapped up. That'll be my call. I'll call Asylum.
Is Jake Male Baxter playing?
Well, this brings an interesting point because now,
like
Jake Male Baxter, is he playing for you guys, Dwayne? Are you still there, mate?
So Dwayne's saying legitimately, Jamie played on this field at the NCPL at the time. There is a video of TPC playing on this very layout from 2013.
That'll be the one then. That'll be I remember.
Maybe that's why you like a big Dorito, Jamie. You're having flashbacks, mate.
Mate, seriously, I'm pretty sure I had a good event at this event. This might have been the event that we won. We did win one.
Why are you going down to fill that spot then, Jamie? You know the layout. You've got the inside knowledge. No,
I've got the NRL coming to Dubbo this weekend, so I'm working at the NRL this weekend.
Are you?
South Sydney's playing the Panthers in Dubbo.
Go
the Panthers.
Yeah.
They're not playing, Kai. It's two different teams. All right then, Jamie. From your memory, how did you guys win? What was the tricks for this?
I don't even know if this was the one that we did win on. I have the worst memory ever.
I was playing with Crusaders and we won.
Well, mate, well, no, you would have been. We would have only been in like Am's div back then.
Yeah,
So you probably did win it with Crusaders,
exactly,
and we.
Exactly.
So listen to Kaiser, not me. In other words.
Oh, how many beers deep are you, Kaiser? Is that the end of the 6-pack, brother?
There's been a few. There's been a few.
Interesting.
There was a watch before that.
Very interesting. How many teams are there? Like, obviously, me not being the favorite person anymore,
I think Dwayne would probably be the one to give us the info on that one. If
should we get him in?
Can fill us in the chat.
Get him in. Dwayne, turn your camera on.
Yeah.
Last I heard, I think there was 5 teams. I did talk to Dwayne about a week ago, and there was 5 teams. There's 2 from Asylum. There's the Canberra Mafia boys.
Yep, Mitch McInnes, shout out to
the
boys.
Yep. There's I think a new Canberra-based team called Anomaly.
Good, shout out to Anomaly.
Yeah, and the young fella who plays for Anomaly
Say it again.
is doing a webcast, doing a 2-camera webcast. So we will get to see this thing in action. And then there's an Eskimo Brothers team. Eskimo Brothers
Blizzard?
Avalanche is going down.
Avalanche, yes.
Avalanche is going down.
Which will be Tash Cordova's team. So hopefully she
Tash
gets a bit of
Cordova's
content
team,
there. Yeah, so maybe she'll get a bit of content.
Yep.
Hot
I think Asylum will their top team. They've got a top team and a more of a junior team. I think their top team will be the one to beat. But I reckon
they did win the first round.
Asylum are starting to. Avalanche are starting to find their stride. So you never know.
Yeah,
good jag one.
I think if they piece it together, like Avalanche have, and I've said this before, like Paul Ardle is hard to kill. He just lives, mate. And for a big bloke, he's like you, Jamie. He's a big bloke. He gets to his bunker and he just stays alive. Which is it's a good skill to have.
I'm not that big, mate. Fair go.
What you mean, like compared to Paul, or just a big bloke in general?
No, I think I am bigger than Paul, but anyway.
Only in height, man. Only in height. But it will be good to see like those guys played round 1. It's good that they're getting down and getting a tournament in before AMS.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did say that about them at the start of the year. Is they're a new team, a lot of new players, never played before, but the commitment they're putting in this year, the amount of events they're playing and the amount of training they're going, they'll be top of the podiums, in podium contention by the end of the year at every event they're playing.
Mate, I'll call it now. I reckon they will medal at Super Sevens.
Yeah,
I
hope
think
so.
they will be.
They deserve
they'll
it.
Be top
they
3.
deserve it.
So I will call it early.
I'd like to see a little podium spot for every Eskimo, an Eskimo in each division, I should say, not every team, but it'd be nice.
You do like it when we do that. We did that last year at round 1.
I do. Yes, we did,
wasn't it?
Which was good. So and we're on track for that. So calls for this one. I'm going Asylum. I'm then going to say that the Canberra Mafia boys will get a second, and I think Avalanche will get a third. That's me. So that's my call.
There you go.
Probably a pretty accurate or safe bet there too, Jonesy, I reckon.
So
smile and nod, pretend to know what everyone's doing on the East Coast.
Yeah, it's all right. Your turn will come when your tournaments come up. You'll say these are the teams playing, and we'll be like, okay. Although,
honestly,
speaking of West Coast ballers, Chris Dickens and Paul Powell. I always get his name wrong. He hates me for it. I'm going to come back here. Come over, rolled out with 404. Let's talk about 404 and the tournament they just had at Super Sevens too. And
Simo was in earlier, mate. Hopefully he's still in.
Oh, you better still be here, Simo.
I hope you are.
Because I commentated their first game and I was talking Simo up, as I do believe he is a talent for the future. And I've said this to all you boys. I've said this on this podcast numerous times. And the poor bloke went out, first game, 4 deaths, didn't make his primary.
Got the commentator's curse.
Big time.
Well and didn't go back up there, and the kid had a tournament after that. Like, mate, he was stomping on fools, which was, mate, amazing to see. Chris Thomas, as always, consistent in the centre, just blasting people. Chris Dickens, I hadn't seen a lot of. came out.
No one really knows much about him. He came out with myself when I was still playing with Menace just to help out for the Sevens a couple of years ago. That was his first sort of feel out of that level. But he's been consistent in WA for well over 5 years.
He's got some
and he does.
skills, man.
He's at every single training with us.
Yep.
Like he's always willing to put the work in, and you got to sleep on that dude at your own risk.
Mate, he took a lot of people by surprise, and like he was taking G's, mate, and he was just holding lanes, and people were running to their death, mate. That kid,
I think
had some skills.
What you've said there, Timmy, though, is like everyone sleep on him at their own risk. Like a lot of teams slept on 404, like across the
100%. 100%.
And
I mean, and that's not without reason. Like usually when a new team comes in, they're an unknown.
But not to mention, it's a new team that's a throw together team. Like you've got little combinations.
They literally met on the Thursday.
Yeah, 100%. But you know, you got Kerry and Alistair from New Zealand.
Rebel.
You got Chris, Simo, and Dave from Wagga.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you got the two boys from over there, and like
who don't even play together.
Well, mate, Paul was telling me he hasn't played a tournament for 2 years. Like,
he's full of shit. He played Singapore last year.
Oh, was saying. I thought he was saying 2 years. Maybe I'm wrong. Was it last year, 2020, or was it 19?
2020. He was there in February.
Yeah, okay.
But Paul is one of those sorts of guys that he plays whenever he can. He works FIFO. Surprise! I mean, WA works FIFO. He plays with him pure normally. So he normally is a Div 2 guy. But he is one of those guys that, I mean, clear look at the dude. He looks after himself. He trains his ass off. But when he's available, he's always at the field. He's putting time in. He listens to everything. Like I was stoked to see my guys in the pits helping them out because they helped us out hugely. Obviously, we were down and short manned for the entire event, going over with only 6 to start with. And so they stepped in to help us out with pit crew. Yeah, Damo had a blowout. But no, they were literally they were huge to help us out. But it was also good to see like my guys in there talking to them and helping them out. And the fact it wasn't just Chris and Paul that know my guys; everyone else listened to them as well. Yeah. And that was the messages I was getting back from my lads was they were listening to everything, they were implementing everything, and it showed.
100%.
And as Wimpy said, that draw against my guys, they deserved it. My guys shit the bed, and I dropped a few expletives, and when I can't watch this, and I was like,
rage quit.
Yeah. And then turn it straight back on, like, going,
I don't know, like you sort of say like you guys shit the bed, but I think that sort of detracts from like 404 capitalizing on that.
No,
like they've still got to be good enough to take those opportunities, and I think they sort of proved that this weekend.
But that was the thing; they took those opportunities.
Big time.
When I say my guys shit the bed is the fact that they let those opportunities come into play.
Yeah.
Well, exactly.
There's a lot of teams that wouldn't have capitalised on that. Like there's a lot of teams in that division that wouldn't have realised what was going on, and you know they would have had this like gift given to them, and they would have tripped on their dicks too. You know, like and you know there's teams that went in there with higher expectations, and I think they got a bit of a wake up call, and those guys went in, you know, with. You know, like the conversation I had to them earlier, like to Chris and Simo and that sort of those guys was, man, like when Jamie and I stepped up to pro and we went there with the goal of taking a couple of points, and we lost 16 points in a row. You know, like we did not win a point for 16 points. It was a tough day, and those boys come out.
Day, mate. It was a definition of like literally the worst paintball event ever.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
That day one, anyway. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was demoralising. It was just, it was, we don't belong here. It was, everything.
There's a lot of things that go through your head, but the difference is teams would have quit at that, but we took our licks, mate, and that's the difference. But what I'm getting at is those guys came out there, no expectations, and, mate, they took points in their first game, you know, like, and like people were like, holy fuck, you know, and like when Simo would make his moves up the snake, and when he got done, Alistair Perkins from New Zealand didn't hesitate to get in there and made as a secondary attacker, mate. He was taking skulls too. Like they were strong. They were strong across the park. And like I think the teams that didn't give them the respect paid the price, and the teams that treated them as a pro team had a healthier outing against them, if that makes sense.
And you were there when I talked to Simo on Saturday afternoon, and we had them first game Saturday morning, and we talked about it Friday night. You know, we had a rough first day. The boys all knew it. We only had the 3 games, and we only won the one and tied one and lost one. But we watched the game tapes on Friday night, and the boys are like, you know, we're not going to go to sleep on 404. We're going out there, and the boys turned up, and they were going for blood, like they were playing SWAT, STK, anybody. There was the utmost respect given to 404. And we got the win, and we got the win convincingly, but that's because the boys were worried about them, what could potentially happen. And they went out there going for blood, you know, all of them. Macca was just like frothing on Saturday morning. Like, he was ready to rip heads off babies, you know, it was massive. So, and I said to Simo, that's a credit to them, because I reckon if we met them game 1 on Friday, we wouldn't have went in with that attitude. We would have went in with, you know, these guys throw together team,
good warm up match,
good warm up boys, you know.
Yeah.
You know, me and Gaddy would have started. You know, it would have been a very different looking game. You know, so credit to them. Credit to them.
That's probably a big 100%. Indicator for any team on the weekend. That, and this is no disrespect to Gaddy, yourself, Jamie. If you didn't see that, if you had that starting 5 walking out on the field against you,
100%.
You know you were a threat, and that was.
And if you didn't look at it that way, that's more fool on you. You know,
I'm under no illusions that I'm in the starting 5. You know, it's if I'm fronting up game 1, you know, the boys are feeling.
We've got 4 injuries.
Overly confident.
It's true though. Like, each team has a starting 5.
Oh, 100%.
Like you have a go-to 5 that walks out there to set the pace of the match and get it done. If you see that starting 5 walk out against you on that gate, and you're one of the lower end teams, as you might be in this event or the next event or whatever, that you see that starting 5 walk out, know that you're being taken seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. And 404, I'll tell you, that same starting 5 walked out on all 4 points. I'm pretty sure. I may have played the last one. But even when we were 2 up, it wasn't, you know.
Yeah. You guys waited till you're 3 up.
Yeah.
That was one thing. Like, I legitimately actually watched every single game that happened, because great timing for WA. It was all well and done by lunchtime, so I could actually afford to be up a little bit early and watch every single game. But they were impressive to watch. Like, it was the same as what I said to you guys. Obviously, your Friday was a bit wishy-washy. It wasn't what I. To be honest, actually, it was a little bit of what I was expecting. Saturday was exactly what I was expecting, though. Nation, same deal, was consistent across the board. The level of play, I thought, for the event wasn't too bad.
Everything, you know. It wasn't too bad doing everything. Like, even just trying to shoot straight, get paint out of your gun.
And that's the thing, like that. And I'm sure this will be interesting to see what happens the rest of the season. Like, I can guarantee you 404 are not going to get any inch given to them now for the rest of the season.
Well, I just hope that they stay together, and I hope that they come back.
They have every intention to. That was the coolest thing to come out of it. Like, I've spoken to both Paul and
all enjoyed it.
And they all enjoyed each other's company, which is a huge thing. Like, we all know here, that is the biggest thing. It's not so much how you did, it's how you gelled. For a throw together team, if you don't gel, then you're not going to be interested in doing that again.
And I'm glad they had that really good first successful day, because I think that set it up. And no matter what happened Saturday, Sunday, you know, they were really positive, no doubt. And I don't think it would have been as good if they didn't come out like we did on our first and went 0-16 on the first day as a throw together team from all over. That might have been a lot harder to, you know, come back that second day and potentially come back the next event. But I'm really happy for them. I think it's brilliant, because they deserve to be there. There's quality ballers amongst them. Like, every single one of them deserve that spot. So
100%. And how good did their jerseys look?
Dickens hit it out of the park for those.
And that was
like, He does some great jerseys.
Yeah, no, he's a designer. That's his deal. But
yeah,
he knocked that one out of the park.
Yeah,
they turned up. They turned up Friday morning. So
yeah.
Kylie walked in with the box of jerseys just before their game. So it was perfect timing. So
And did you hear when our PB athlete jerseys turned up?
Yeah, now.
Monday.
Yeah. That's okay.
And we missed it by this much.
Yeah. Maybe we should have
I know. So anyone that was looking at Stevie and going, "Who's Stevie Broning?"
Look, I've explained this. I have explained this. Okay. Stevie was so upset about leaving the Brotherhood, he had to keep the bro on his back.
Yeah. Well, his
Stevie
replacement
Broning
with the W in there showed up Monday as well.
I did it. We all felt the love, didn't we, Jonesy? We knew. We knew he wanted to stay a bro.
Shout out to HK for making that happen for me. So
Yeah.
Well done.
Hey, Tim, did HK actually make him a Broning jersey?
They instead of a W, there was an E in there, so it was
an
Stevie,
E.
Broenino.
One time, I don't know, something was going on, and they said maybe I fucking needed some money, and they hit me up and they said, "Do you want some jerseys to sell?" I said, "Yep, send me a bunch." So they sent me a bunch of Eski jerseys. Team Australia, HK Australia jerseys, because I can sell them. And they sent me, thanks for throwing me a bone, boys. They sent me a box load of Eski Australia jerseys. I go to Zach. Got a bunch of jerseys. I'll sell them to you for $100. Yeah, I'll give them to you for $100 each. You sell them for $200. We make $100 each. She goes, "No, that's ridiculous. I can't do that." I go, "Wait a minute." Did some magic. He did some magic. 10 minutes later, yeah, they're all sold. I'll take them. Thanks.
Oh, gee.
So we both made a few $100, and HK, good work, boys.
I was going to say, was that HK telling you that you would have made more money selling his jersey than yours, mate? Or
they sold in like 2 minutes, so of course.
Yeah.
That was those series of Australian jerseys. Those were actually my designs. So yeah, those sold well. Those ones.
They were nice jerseys.
Best ones, Tim. They are hands down the best Australian jerseys that have ever come out of Australia. They look amazing, and credit to you, bro. They're the best ones out of all of them by leaps and bounds. Yeah.
Well, I can be a cheeky bastard and say, well, that's because that were the proper international ones that were done.
Yeah.
They weren't for just random made up shit.
I played all over the world with you in that jersey, all over Southeast Asia anyway, but it's a big world.
Yeah, those jerseys made their way to England, France.
Yeah, I was going to say they were in the UK, weren't they?
Yeah, we played them in Europe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, very cool.
My missus is bringing me from upstairs.
When are you getting off?
Bro, she's only calling you to see if you want another beer. She's just like,
send her a picture of Marcelo.
Yeah, I was going to say she's probably up in the bedroom looking at pictures of Marcelo, mate. She's waiting for you to come up.
Mate,
you're not going to answer it, mate. Just put her on speakerphone. Just answer it. Put her on speakerphone.
Right. She's when Marcelo's in town, he stays at my house. I'm fucking constantly just waiting for. Listen to those footsteps.
Other tournaments on this weekend. Super Sevens do have semi-pro rolling out. We have Eskimo Brothers, and Black Flag, Tog, Wicked Assassins. Is that the team?
That is correct. That's the 16th.
So, and shout out to Khan here. Khan's already called the top three. First place Eskimos, second place Eskimos, third place Eskimos.
Khan, you're gonna have to be more specific, mate.
I do hope that happens.
Yeah, it would be nice. So Eskimo. Who's
I'm going to pick the Melon and Connor.
Is he saying his team's going to win?
Oh, surely. They've got a pretty stacked roster though.
Yeah,
Looking at the
St.
boys.
Mellon-
Not stacked. I wouldn't
Connor,
call
Mellon.
it stacked. That they have a solid roster. We don't stack teams at the Eskimo Brothers. It's up to the captain to pick his team.
Oh, look, that team, apart from
that's
one or
unfair
two,
to
have
say
been
the team's
together
stacked
for
just 'cause
4
Craig's
years.
on
So, yeah.
There's only a couple of little
they've grown up
tweaks here
together,
and
those boys.
there.
Yeah.
Look, and they
And they're
do.
all-
They have had a pretty big loss. Like Joey's not going to be there this round, which is a bit of a loss on their snake attack because Joey can be handy when he wants to be.
Having said that, they've picked up Connor Johnston, who I think is going to absolutely. You know, not, and I'm not just saying this because he's our sponsor. I'm saying it because I know how much work that big fella's been putting in the last couple of months. And
on and off the field, like
on and off the field, and he is. I reckon he's up for a very big tournament. I think he'll be MVP, to be honest.
Yeah,
and they're going to look good doing it because has anyone seen the Eskimo Bros?
Fresh.
Oh mate, they look great. Connor's coming out with
Speaking
the
of jerseys that are hot jerseys, Connor knocked it out of the park with that.
Let's just see what we can do here. Let's see.
Connor had a nice Instagram story the other day, just all of them laid out. Shared.
Yep.
I think that was shared from Connor, but yeah.
Yeah,
I
he
think
got 4
I've spoken
jerseys
to
for
Connor a
himself,
bit
a big
about
fella.
them, but they turned out
I
pretty
know.
damn good.
Yeah.
And honestly,
So the
like
boys-
they're a great jersey too. Like I use mine at training all the time. Doesn't looks still brand new. You know,
That's the one they're wearing,
but
isn't it, Jamie? Yeah.
that's the one they went with. Yeah.
That's the one they're wearing. Yeah, they picked the black. That's the one
Tidy
we're wearing too,
jersey.
isn't it?
Yeah, it is, mate. They copied.
Yeah.
They copied. Craig always wants to wear the same jersey I do. That's all.
Yeah,
So-
fair enough. There's that love affair going on.
Mate, I tell you. Look, to be honest, like I've known Craig for many, many years and had a lot to do with him in his early and all the way through his paintball. And I love the kid. Like he's he's like family. And one of the most touching things, like when I coached that team and they took that series champion, the boys gave me that trophy. Like the series champions trophy, which was pretty special. And they managed to get hold of one of my jerseys, and they all signed my jersey. So I've got a jersey signed by the team that I coached for the series championship, and they gave me the cup, and they got me a coffee cup too, which I saw on the weekend. Michael Wybrew had stolen me coffee cup, and he's drinking out of it. So I will be retrieving that coffee cup.
I have commented this. I just ran the entire club, and they got me jack shit. So a little bit of a sore point. Just putting it out there.
Right.
It is a nice coffee cup.
mate.
Hey, the melon is in the
fairness,
chat. He has seen, so he now knows. Craig, you're on blood. You're on notice.
In all
mate.
fairness, Jamie, they were courteous enough to put a picture of you on my coffee cup. So you are.
That's right. Funny you should say that because I was in the webcast booth and I'm like, Mike, why am I? Because I could only see just me on the edge of it. I'm like, Mike, why am I on your coffee cup, mate? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, there's a picture of me on your coffee cup, and it was the team photo.
Yeah. Best coach in the world, I think it says, or something like that.
I thought Mike was finally revealing his true feelings about me, and
It's actually Liz's cup.
So, that makes sense. Yeah.
So my pick for this one is I am calling that those boys will win, and I'm pretty sure they'll do it pretty convincingly. No slide on anyone else. And I think Kyle's team might be a sleeper in there that might give them a bit of trouble.
Kyle's got some good players on there. Dondi's not playing this weekend, so that's a big loss for them. So I think Dondi's a quality baller, but there's still plenty of other good players. I think we mentioned at the last Eski Couch, who they've got. They've also got Grace from Lithgow come and fill in as well, and Grace Jeffries is a quality baller from a quality bowling family. I think they'll go all right.
Bluey Barnes making his comeback to tournament.
Bluey Barnes making his comeback,
which is good.
And old Top Hat Joker. Do you remember the Top Hat Jokers, guys?
Of course I do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So,
I'm probably the only bloke on here that got to play against him. Yeah.
Well, Bluey's scraping the rust.
I played against him back in the day, really long back in the day. I'm talking 20 years ago. I played against him.
Yeah.
Well, that was probably when Bluey was playing. So,
yeah.
I played my first sevens 21. I mean, 01. She's 21. Fucking 2001. I think. Or was it 2000 even? I think I've played 15 seasons pro at sevens.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
played
seasons,
last
wow.
year in Melbourne, and I might have missed one or two because I was living in the States at the time. But I've played, I'm telling you, at least 13 pro seasons at sevens.
Yeah, there you go.
Timmy, what are you up to?
I told you a kid down here one time.
Checking on the missus.
No, you meant
I meant as in how many years,
Years.
When did you
I've missed years, man. So I've been
okay.
playing at a pro level though since 2007.
Yeah, righto.
Okay. Well, Jamie and
but
I this year just qualified for our 5-year pro patch. So
We did.
Oh yeah.
I think
reckon
I played
pros
my
this year.
first year. I played semi-pro the ones back when they used to come here to WA. The last time I actually won the last one I played over here in WA was with Menace Kids in 2009. Then 2014 when with SDK, and then every year since I've played at least an event with a few teams, Explicit, Menace, obviously the brothers.
Yeah.
You know, look, we're talking about old nostalgic shit right now. Like, you know, one of my best moments is I idolize STK. Like, I fucking adore that team, right?
not as much as the Eskimos, though.
Of course not, right? Right. And
I don't think you're alone in that, Kaiser. I think SDK got a very big following.
They got a cult following, man.
I've never lied. I've never said anything else. I'm a Dynasty fan. I'm an STK fan. And the proudest moments of my life was I got to wear those green and gold colours and play with an STK line with just me on it.
Yeah.
A couple of seasons overseas. And we got ourselves Alpha line and all that. But Dan Wood sent me a picture of a pod that I'd given him at Gravity Games 2006.
Gravity Games 2006. Yeah,
and
that's when we all first met you.
And we were a breakaway X-Fighter team. It was 5 or 6 of us had broken away from the leadership, and Sus and Louis were the best leaders ever. But we were the kids, and we went to that tournament on our own, and we won it. And we
Off
stayed
reservation.
at the casino, and we won fucking like how much? It was a lot of money back then. You know, we won
It was like 6 or 7 grand, I think.
Yeah. I was between 5 and 10,000, and we all won angels each. We couldn't use them because we were sponsored by Mac Dev, but you know, we won that event, and it's the best. It was the ultimate for me. You know, the X Fighters kids went away on our own, stayed at the Burswood Casino, had the time of our lives at the Gravity Games where there was skateboarding, snow, motocross. The planes, the Red Bull planes, there was jet ski, there was BMX, there was rock, and we played paintball in the event, and there were 20,000 people came in and out of that event, and I fucking captained the winning team, and we won all this shit, and we had money, and they gave us money and guns and this trophy this big, and we could walk, and we'd never in where we come from, you can't carry a gun around. In WA, we just stuck our guns in our backpacks like fucking Rambo with our trophy and just walked off. And we walked through the park, and there was a 200-piece orchestra had set up for an orchestra in the park. And as we walked past, they played fucking Indiana Jones, dude. And we just played Gravity fucking games, and we got guns on our fucking backs, and they go, and we're just like,
We have arrived.
No, I actually. So,
but Dan Wood sent me a photo about 6 months ago with a pod that I'd signed and given to him at Gravity Games, and he wrote, and he sent me this photo, and he said, "Man, I got this off you at Gravity Games, 6." And I was like, that's so sick, bro, because I fucking idolize you. Man. And I gave you a fucking pod and you thought that was cool. Like, fuck, man.
Dude, that was the thing. Like, you guys were that young team. So I didn't play with SDK at the time, obviously. I actually met you that Friday walking the field with my original team, Invasion, and we actually went back to your hotel rooms and sat and drank beers with you guys. So that's when I first met you proper, and I kicked it off really well with Jono Coffee, Mike, fucking Borgie was there. Yeah, it was. Dude, that actually stood out to like. That was the first year paintball was legal in WA. No, second year. Sorry, 2005 is when it became legal. But that meant a lot because, yeah, obviously, I'm not the same age as Dan. I'm a couple of years older than him, but we were that new, younger lot of guys coming through. So that by that stage, they were Wasp Blue. They were becoming SDK after that event. I was still with Invasion for another couple of seasons before we all went and played for Wasp. But yeah, like you guys coming over as those young guys gave us all something to aspire to. And that's what we've been sort of on the lookout for going forward, like the newer, younger, like watching the younger guys come through.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
it's so cool when it goes full circle, huh? It's
100%, man.
But, you know, my greatest memory ever is playing alongside you guys at World Cup and Asia and other Southeast Asian countries in our green and gold jerseys. But Dan remembers I gave him a fucking pod when he was a little kid. How like, what the fuck, dude?
He was a kid too. He would have been 16 then.
Yeah, shit. Gold. Very good. Very cool. Kaiser, changing the world of paintball one beer at a time.
I love you guys.
Look.
Eskimos.
Yeah, mate. Kaiser, you probably remember back in the day when we were TPC, mate, coming around the TPC house at Avena, because, you knew Damien Hall, and Damien's like, I used to bounce with Kaiser back in the day and work at the pubs, and Kaiser turned up, and mate, one of the funniest nights we've ever had as TPC. We'd all sit around, big group of us, and Kaiser turned up and told us stories of paintball pasts, and shit, I laughed. I'm normally sore after an event because I'm not the fittest person, but my jaw was so sore from laughing the next day I could hardly talk on the field. Like, you just had me in hysterics telling me stories about friggin' Nicky Cuba and Marcelo and Ryan and some of the best paintball memories, mate. And that was one of my all times. Just your stories. They were just gold, mate. Absolute gold.
Yeah.
They
were. They were. I remember when I first started playing, sitting in the spa with Kai and Josh from HK Army, smashing beers on the Thursday afternoon before the tournament. We were putting them away. So I think that was like my second or third tournament.
Those guys. A quick one. I was coming home from LA one time. I was at the HK headquarters in Gardenia, which is next to Compton, right? And Marky, Mr. H, said he'll drive me to the airport. Anyway, we ended up going to the pub mid-afternoon, and we got a little pit, right? And anyway, Marky's a dickhead sometimes. Love him, Mr. H. But fucking, instead of driving me to the airport, he drove me to the Spearmint Rhino, which is a strip club in Compton, right? So I'm driving to the airport. He's like, no, we're going to the Rhino. You're not going home. I'm keeping you for another, 6 months. I'm like, no. Anyway, he drives us to the strip club in Compton, right? And I don't know if you guys know what's up in the hood, but Southside Compton Crips killed Tupac, right? And they're out the front of the Spearmint Rhino in Compton, a bunch of Crips, right? And we pull in, and I go, Marky, there's fucking Crips here, right? And these Crips start going like, doing this shit. Mate, I was in that airport terminal 7 minutes later. I'm telling you. This is the fastest trip to the airport I've ever fucking had.
Oh, dear.
Gold. Right. So, more stories from Uncle Kaiser will be on next week's show.
That could be a whole podcast on itself, couldn't it?
We might do it on.
That's a series.
Yeah, bro.
Whole series, yeah.
If you see Kaiser at an event and you haven't had a chat with him, ask him to tell you what's up and how paintball used to be, because you will get a few stories.
Oh, absolutely.
And you will best off doing it after you play if you want to be functional on the field. So, because you will walk away sore. So, maybe in the belly, maybe in the jaw, maybe in the head. So,
one way or another.
Fuck, let's not go down that road. That's a great story, but that's
a good story.
Ask if you see Kaiser at a field and you don't know the story. Ask him about the time that Marky headbutted his fist. So,
and the true definition of the Eskimo brothers. So
Yeah.
those two stories,
Done. All right.
they're top of the playlist.
100%. All right. So we are. Fuck, we've had a long one tonight, boys.
We have.
Big one.
Yeah, I'm hungry, boys. I know you all got to go to bed, but I haven't eaten.
My missus
What,
called
Jimmy?
my phone 3 times from upstairs.
And
Right.
put her on speakerphone. Just answer it. Put her on speakerphone. It'll be right. So to everyone playing at NXL in Canberra, best of luck. Good luck. It is going to be cold
Especially
down
the
there.
Eskimos.
Manage your paint, guys. Keep it warm. Keep it careful because I was in Wagga, and it was like 2 degrees at 7 o'clock this morning. Like from.
It's going to be negative in Canberra for sure.
Yeah, so manage your paint, guys. That is my tip for the weekend at NXL. Those guys playing at Action this weekend, good luck, best of luck. Manage your paint there as well. Don't think that washing your paint with a hose will get rid of the dust. It does not work, trust me. But yeah,
Take some soft towels to it, guys.
Yeah, towel
Yeah.
your paint.
Like take some soft towels with you, roll some soft
Towel your
towels.
balls.
So,
Yeah, towel your balls, boys.
And it's not to get the liquid off, it's to get the dust off, guys. So just really look after your paint. One last thing I do want to say, well done, Jamie. You and the boys.
Yeah, congratulations,
Absolute
boys.
fucking
Thank you.
Well
killers.
done, mate. Deserve it.
Appreciate it.
And the boys have come back with vigor. The boys were back in the gym on Monday. Training schedules have been put together. Those that don't know, like Carl didn't play on the weekend, and I did give him a bit of a rev up for it. He went to jiu-jitsu Thursday before the tournament, busted a rib. So that's why Carl wasn't on the field for the tournament. So he'll be managing that, and we'll have a full strength squad. I should be back for next round. Carl will be back. Not that I'm going to make a difference, but the big difference is Carl. So
Carl will make a difference.
I'm just talking myself up. So I'll be filling guns again, boys, but I'll have my jersey on this time. So, it is going to be good to see. And to all the Eskimo brothers and nation, well done for waving the flag for the club, boys. You did a wonderful job and you did us proud. We'll put that video up that Tash made, so share the shit out of that. Get some love out there for Tash. Tash Cordova on YouTube, Velma.35 on Insta. PBAthleteclothing.com is Connor's wonderful gear. You did see that Eskimo jersey that we put up just before. Here's another little look at it. They are available in a multitude of colors. You can have that one, 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 or
You can have them all.
you can have them all available at pbathleteclothing.com. Buy one, buy two, buy them all. As Kai said, you can have them all. Shout out to Gladiator Air, best tanks in the game. Another win for the Eskimo brothers, since we've had everyone on the squad rolling with those.
And FTK as well.
FTK, big podium this weekend for them.
Yep. So that's a 1-2 for Gladiator Air. If you don't have a Gladiator Air tank, you're doing yourself a disservice. Unless you're Kai and you roll a Ninja tank, and it doesn't really matter either way. Shout out to HK Army, keeping Kaiser looking fresh in that Eskimo jersey. Thanks for spelling the name wrong for me, boys. I love seeing a man with homo on his back. Paintballshop.com has the best gear in the game, and they will keep you laced up. Anything else we've got to add?
That's it. Buy us a coffee and we'll see you next week.
Buyusacoffee.com/Eski Couch.
And we got some more giveaways coming up. So
we do.
make sure of it.
We will announce them next week. We might do a Virtue bundle. We have a couple of Virtue shirts, courtesy of Chad George. Obviously, you saw that latest video that HK dropped. He doesn't need to wear them. So there is.
I wonder how many tickets or coffees that Kayla's going to buy us, eh?
I'm counting on it.
She'll buy them all, mate.
He wore them all, Caitlin. He wore them all, and we haven't watched them.
If you win it, 100%, I will reach out to Chad. We all will reach out to Chad. And we'll get you a signed photo.
Yeah, 100%.
In all fairness,
TRK.
In all fairness,
Chad was on my taser ball team back in the day. No, he was.
He was. Yes.
Yeah, Chad was on my taser ball team. He was in my starting lineup.
There you go.
I had Mouse, Ryan Moorhead, Chad, Jerry Devereaux's cousin, and I don't know, some other fool. But
Yeah.
they
And
were
if you have no idea what Kaiser's talking about, what taser ball is, because a lot of new
Google
players
it.
would know this Kaiser.
Google it.
It'd be on YouTube still. Get
Yeah,
on
it will be.
YouTube and look up taser ball.
UTB,
Ultimate
UTB,
taser
the
ball.
future of sport. Look up UTB, the future of sport on YouTube. And
Yep.
watch us playing taser ball.
Still don't know how it didn't pick up. It should be on ESPN. It was
It
gold.
should be.
But anyway,
100%.
Horrible. It was awful. That's why.
it was great to watch, though.
With ambassadors
watch.
like that, no wonder it didn't take off. So
I'd ripped my bicep off before the shoot. I'd gone from 105 kilos and 7% body fat to 79 kilos and a little weasel. I hadn't had my arm out of a sling for 16 weeks. Warner Brothers paid for me to go to LA. I rocked up in LA and they're like, they'd see me at World Cup looking like Thor. And then I ripped my bicep off the next day.
looked like Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, I was on a fucking deserted island. I was on a deserted island with Bear Gidio, Nicky Cuba, Jerry Devereaux, a bunch of other motherfuckers. I tackled this little fucking kid and ripped my bicep off. Anyway.
More
UTV.
stories from Uncle
It could
Kai.
be a series. It could
There will
legitimately be a series.
We might do it. Kai, you and I'll talk, mate. We'll do a bedtime stories with Uncle Kai.
Oh, God.
I ripped my bicep off. I had to lie on the beach, and a carnivorous larvae-laying entity crawled into my foot and started laying eggs.
I'm glad you said foot.
Can we finish on that? Because nothing's going to beat it.
Righto, we are out. Kaiser and his carnivorous egg-laying entity is going to finish the show. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks, boys.
Eski Couch. Much love from the Eskimo brothers.
Absolute pleasure.
Anyone want to add anything?
No.
Good luck everyone this weekend.
Guys,
See you at round 2. See you at round 2. See you at round 2,
See you
Kaiser.
next week.
Yes, see you at
See
round
you
2,
at round
Kaiser.
2 as well.
We'll
See
have
you at round
fireside
2.
chats. Righto, I'm hitting the button. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Righto.
Like it, love it, share it. Follow Tash,
See
follow
you
PB
guys.
Athlete, follow Paintball Shop, follow everything. And thanks you.
Done. Eskimo.